Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. First is this statement that was read by Paul Hellyer, who was the former Minister of National Defense of Canada. And yeah, he's reading a letter that was written by supposedly a species of aliens that we've been in contact with. Also have this video. I mean, it's hard to see, but you can see this little white blemish here. It's actually a, like a something moving across the sky during a thunderstorm. And this is actually in slow motion, but when, in original speed, it goes by so fast. If you don't know where to look, you'll miss it. Also have this video here that, I remember showing this video on my old YouTube channel before it was taken down by YT. But anyways, this is a long video from Unexplained Mysteries. It talks about a bunch of other things going on in space. But I just want to discuss this one. This is some craft that showed up near the International Space Station. And, of course, they go to the blue screen. And what I find strange is the guy narrating this is trying to make excuses for NASA on, why they went to blue screen. Trying to say that it's probably something legitimate. There was a glitch or something, but as opposed to they don't want people to see this thing. And I got this old video here. This is from 1996, so it's not the best quality. Probably taken with the VHS camera. But this is a story of this guy, Dr. Jonathon, who apparently had a UFO encounter in the forest, and he also gets footage of this this craft here, this small triangle-shaped craft, and he claims that this alien came out and he whacks it with a stick, cracks its head open, and you can see, yeah, here, that's where he hit it in the head and wounded it. And I don't know if it's in this clip, but yeah, I think it is in this one here, or no, maybe it's not there. But yeah, but I've seen other clips of this where it looks like the creature's eyes are blinking, because you can see the light, it's slit in the eye, and it's going on and off. But I don't know if it's if this video here. And again, I'm making no claims on the validity of this. This is, like I said, this has been out for a long time. That's the story. I'm not going to say that it's real or not, but who knows? I'll put a link in the description, so of course you can check it out yourself. And this is a part of a long discussion that this guy here from the Y Files talks about. When he talks about the search for the hidden city in the center of the earth. And in this part, he actually mentions that that a lot of times we're not necessarily seeing these crafts in space. We do see a lot of them here on Earth coming in and out of our ocean. So, he's going to basically say what I've been saying, is that, that they live here, that many of the sightings of craft, aside from ours, because there's no doubt our military has anti-gravity craft, but, the ones that we have been seeing for literally thousands of years are most likely being operated by several advanced species that share the planet with us. And then last is this article here about the this thing called the mystery of the Tumuli. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but these are these mounds. It says over 400 mounds on New Caledonia in the Southwest Pacific may mark a human presence predating the current earliest generally accepted dates by thousands of years. Yeah, so no doubt, what we've all been taught to believe ever since we were growing up, that civilization started in Samaria, a little over what, 5,000, 7,000 years ago. It's completely wrong, right? I mean, at this point, with all of the technology that we have, so many more people who don't accept the the current paradigm, again, that humans came across the Bering Strait and settled settled in North America and stuff like that, yeah, there's more and more evidence that there were highly advanced civilizations in the past. And, many of the academics still want to deny that. But in this article here, talks about these mounds that were found, and the possibility that they were created by some advanced civilization, or not necessarily advanced civilization, but just another civilization that many of the academics refuse to acknowledge their presence. But anyways, you know what? If you appreciate the time and effort that I put into bringing this information to you, please give this video a like. Please share it, and more importantly, please subscribe, because I'm going through my analytics, and apparently only 1 out of 10 people are actually subscribing. And a lot of you guys who are watching, won't even take the time to give it a like, which is again why I'm not doing these videos every single day. And I'm also going to cut down on my workload. I used to try and do anywhere from 10 to 11, 9 to 11 links, but yeah, that's too much of a workload for me, and it's making it harder for me to find content on a regular basis. So I'm going to cut down on my workload a little, and just also make these videos shorter. But anyways, let's just get into this. Like I said, this is from Paul Hellyer, and he's reading a letter that was supposedly written by one of the species that we're in contact with.
If you'll indulge me, I'd like to read 2 pages from advice from the extraterrestrials. Yes, it's true that we have been in contact with your government and heads of power. It is also true that it is also true that agreements have been made and kept secret from your people. It is also true that in the past, some of your people have lost their lives or have been badly hurt to protect this secret. Our hands had no part in this. We contacted your leaders because your planet is in grave trouble. Your leaders said the vast majority of your population wasn't ready for anything like us yet. So we made time agreements with your leaders as to when your people would be made aware of our presence. Your air, your water are contaminated. Your forests, jungles, trees, and plant life are dying. There are several breaks in your food chain. You have an overwhelming amount of nuclear and biological weapons, which include nuclear and biological contamination. Your planet is overpopulated. Warning, it is almost to the point of being too late, unless your people act. There are better ways of deriving energy and food needs without causing your planet any damage. Those in power are aware of this and have the capability of putting these methods into worldwide use. Those in power view it as a military and security threat. That upset me. You mean to tell me that the people in power have the ability to save and better the planet, and they aren't doing it? Amnesty. What do you mean? Complete amnesty to those in power. Governments and leaders who have been suppressing the truth, that they can't be held liable for any past wrong deeds. It is the only way these leaders can come forward with the truth. It is necessary that you do this in order to work together and survive.
Okay, now I believe that this was from the Citizens Hearing on Disclosure that was put on by Stephen Bassett in 2013, I think it was. And so yeah, I can't believe that there are still people who are waiting for disclosure when, like I've been saying, or I've said many times, that disclosure is not going to be an event, right? If you're out there still waiting, for disclosure and talking about when we disclose, and your definition of disclosure is, a world leader coming out and saying, hey, we're not alone, that there's aliens out there. You're institutionalized. You got a sheep brain, right? Because you refuse to acknowledge the fact that we have been disclosing, right? Our Congress is holding hearings. The military has released, a bunch of videos already. We have We have, known whistleblowers from like the Air Force intelligence, and people like Lou Elizondo, who were involved in studying this stuff. They've all come out and already acknowledged. So disclosure is an ongoing process. It is not going to be an event. And one of the reasons why, the government is still, some people in government are still trying to muddy the waters or deny the existence of our advanced neighbors, is because if they do, he was talking about the treaties. Again, part of those treaties was that our government agreed to allow one of these species, or maybe several of them, to abduct our citizens and conduct testing on them. And there's no doubt that some people are going missing. So who knows why? But our government allowed them to do that in exchange for some of their advanced technology. And if they do, if there was an official government disclosure, then they would have to admit that that they put our citizens, U.S. citizens, in jeopardy, allowing them to be kidnapped and used for experimentation or whatever they're doing. I'm pretty sure it's not just one of the species. I think there's got to be some 11 species out there that's doing God knows what with the people that they're abducting. But anyways, that's that. Link will be in the description. Let's see. Yeah, now in this video here, like I said, you see this little white streak right here. I'm going to start it at the beginning, but yeah, it's there. This is during a thunderstorm. This thing's going to go shooting across the screen at super high speed. You know what? I can't back this up. I have to start it. But anyways, yeah, you'll see this thing first in slow motion, and then when it starts over again, it's gonna move quickly.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
Yeah, watch this again now, man. It's gonna come right around here.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
There it goes. Yeah, see that? Now, who knows if that's a craft, or is that some kind of anomaly from the thunderstorm? I mean, I'm going to assume that it's a craft, but could just be some kind of meteorological effect.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that?
Yeah, anyways, that's that. Yeah, you're going to have to download or check out the video yourself. Link will be in the description. Let me go to this one here. Now, yeah, this is some craft that showed up during a International Space Station live stream. But let me just play this here. Let me go full screen. And when I played this years ago, this thing showed up years ago. There were people who were trying to say that yeah, it's the part of the space shuttle or some ridiculousness like that. And, and based on these camera movements, I'm going to assume there's somebody holding the camera. Someone is actually working that camera. One of the astronauts, I'd have to imagine. So when they zoom in on this, you know what I mean? They know that it's there. Now, yeah, now you can see this giant craft and then the little ones around it. But, it seems to me that someone is manually adjusting the zoom on that camera to get a better shot of this. So whoever's taking this footage is definitely aware that that craft is out there. Yeah, look at how it's going in and out of zoom. So somebody is adjusting or the focus. Yeah, excuse me, it's going in and out of focus. So yeah, someone is definitely adjusting. You know, whatever that thing is, I think it's huge. I mean, massive, massively huge. Yeah, you see this, the little craft, it looks like it's going inside of it. Yeah, look, yeah, that other light also went inside of it.
As of right now, people are struggling to explain what this object is. Those interested in the unknown have said that this isn't the first time that something strange has been detected by the International Space Station cameras.
Anyway, that's as much as I want to play with that. Yeah, you get, there's a shot of it. And there's other craft that the International Space Station, yeah, here's this one here that showed up. Yeah, this part here is talking about these stars that disappeared. They were monitoring for a long time and they just end up disappearing. And then, I didn't actually watch the rest of this, but there's, it's a 41-minute video. Lots of good information on here. Anyways, that's that. Now let's see. Let's check this one out here. This is from this guy, Dr. Jonathon Reed, Alien Encounter. Like I said, well, I guess that's where when he first bopped it in the head. Yeah, this is the alien craft. Again, that he supposedly, I mean, he did capture something. Now, whether it's an actual vehicle, a real vehicle, or, whether it's some kind of hoax that he's perpetrating on us, I do not know. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, so this is, he wrapped it up in some kind of, foil cloth. Yeah, but this is when he first unwraps it. But yeah, so this is the part. You see the eyes? You see how the eyes are going, the light is coming in and out? Some people have said that that's the creature blinking. Yeah, I think on this part here too, there's some shots where you see the eyes go in and out. But again, I've looked at the limbs on this thing. The body proportions seem very odd. Yeah, this is where, the wound that he caused when he bopped it in the head with a stick or a giant log or something like that. Close up of the face. Yeah, there's the gash on the head. More shots of the craft. I think this is an enhanced version. But link will be in the description. Definitely check that out. Okay, now, yeah, this is from the Y files. Now, this is the part where this guy talks about the idea that, you know, it wouldn't be so crazy to theorize that these crafts are coming from the center of the earth or from the oceans. But anyways, check out a little bit of this.
Did an episode on Dulce Base as well. And you might have noticed that a lot of alleged entrances to the Hollow Earth coincide with locations famous for UFO sightings. And this might not be a coincidence. Whenever someone mentions a UFO, our instinct is to look up toward the sky, to space. Turns out, we might be looking in the wrong direction. When we think of UFOs, we think of extraterrestrials from a distant star. And that could be true. But there's also the theory that UFOs aren't coming from a different planet, but from inside our planet. Scientifically speaking, it makes more sense that there's a race of humanoid beings living within the Earth, as opposed to a race of humanoid beings who have somehow figured out how to cross the vast distances of space. And
remember, I'm of the firm belief that, you know, we have advanced beings that definitely live in our oceans and in deep earth caverns. But I also believe that we definitely have visitors from other planets who do. I don't know if it's regularly, but yeah, there's no doubt, you know, that I've heard encounters that people have had with quote unquote extraterrestrials who were wearing some type of life support system, right? Who couldn't breathe our air. So, you know, obviously, if you can't breathe our air, you know, you definitely aren't from this planet. But I've heard many other reports where people are encountering, the little grays, or even beings that look exactly like us, like humans, that don't have any kind of life support systems. Those, I believe, are the people that he's talking about.
And isn't it strange that the aliens we talk about are all humanoid? Whether they're the small grays, the tall whites, or even the goblin-type aliens, they all kind of look like us. 2 eyes, nose, mouth, 2 legs with feet and toes, 2 arms with hands and fingers. Even the size of the beings is close to the size of humans. Now, maybe all intelligent life in the universe evolves this way, but I would expect life in different biomes, in different ecosystems, on different planets, light years away, to look radically different than humans. But they don't. So it's possible that they're from here, just in places we can't normally see. We see a lot of UFOs coming out of the ocean, but we haven't found any type of base, at least not a confirmed sighting.
Now remember, I've talked about this before, that there are some oceanographers who have discovered brine lakes, like at the bottom of the ocean, especially in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the article that I read talks about how someone in a submarine tried to enter into these brine lakes, but it was so buoyant that the submarines couldn't get through the brine lakes. But again, their craft are transmedium, right? Which means they go from the water to the air to space. So if they can go from, space, air to water, I don't think they're going to have any problem getting through those brine lakes. So those brine lakes may be the entrances, the underwater entrances to their world.
So what if the base is inside the hollow earth, under the ocean? I can think of no better hiding place.
Far side of the moon.
Yeah, that would be a good hiding place. And there are crazy things happening on the far side of the moon, and an episode on that is coming up. And there have been many UFO sightings around Mount Shasta where the object flies into the mountain and then disappears. Now, assuming the witnesses are telling the truth, and I believe they are, the objects are going somewhere. In the Arctic near the North Pole, the earliest reported UFO sightings go back to the year 1850. Captain DeHaven and his medical officer saw what they thought was a balloon, but then a second object appeared, and suddenly both objects vanished. Around midnight on January 22nd, 1952, a strange object was tracked on radar at a military outpost in northern Alaska. It was moving at 1,500 miles per hour, which no aircraft on Earth could do. 3 jets were sent to investigate, and as the jets approached, the radar blip slowed down and just hovered. A few seconds later, it streaked out of sight, heading to the North Pole, moving even faster than before. On October 5th, 1960, the ballistic missile early warning station at Tumuli, Greenland, thought World War III had started. Radar was tracking multiple objects moving at speeds too fast to be anything except a Soviet missile attack. Within minutes, U.S. bases in England and Canada were mobilized, and NORAD and the Strategic Air Command were alerted. A few minutes later, the radar signals changed course and disappeared somewhere near the North Pole. The military has been dealing with Arctic UFOs since 1945. The first UFO in Alaska emerged from the sea in March of that year. 14 crew members on an Army transport ship witnessed the object. It approached the ship, circled it, and then flew away. And there were many more sightings in the Arctic during this time. Inuits in the Arctic regions have encountered UFOs in the past and included them in their myths. Once, a man from the Buckland River tribe discovered what appeared to be a UFO landing site. 2 strips of land approximately 2 feet wide had been burned all the way down to the ground. On Sledge Island, Inuits have a legend of a massive ball of fire resembling the moon that descended from the sky. Shortly after the object was spotted, a creature described as a human skeleton appeared in the village. According to the legend, this visitor was not friendly and killed most of the people it encountered. These are just a small fraction of the stories about UFOs and visitors coming from the ocean, from the poles, or the middle of the earth. So we've covered the eyewitness accounts. The next piece of the Hollow Earth puzzle is scientific evidence. We have that too.
Yeah, I'm going to stop that right there. Yeah, I'll put the link to this in the description. You want to watch the rest of that, check out the link. And let's go to this last article here about this thing called the mystery of the Tumuli. I hope I'm saying that properly. Anyways, let me just give this a quick read. Over 400 mounds on New Caledonia in the Southwest Pacific may mark a human presence predating the current earliest generally accepted dates by thousands of years. Editor's note: the following paper, published exclusively here at Popular Archaeology, relates a detailed review of the investigation of enigmatic tumuli or mounds on the Isle of Pines, part of the island French territory of New Caledonia in the South Pacific. The origin and purpose of these tumuli have eluded investigators and scientists for decades, sparking various conjectural explanations for their existence. If the tumuli represents the work of humans, they would provide evidence for human occupation of the islands thousands of years before the currently accepted dates for human habitation. The author suggests a new hypothesis for further study. Let's see, let me read the abstract here. This is the ancient migration setting. The South Pacific remains poorly understood. This is particularly so when the New Caledonia sequence is considered and where perhaps the greatest archaeological mystery of the region awaits resolution. Scattered across the Isle of Pines, more than 400 tumuli or mounds shelter substantial cement blocks, many with a circular shaft running through their center. The only tumulus fully excavated also revealed a large cone-shaped iron object buried directly beneath the shaft, function unknown. Described by 2 archaeologists as recently as 2015 as a kind of archaeological nightmare, the origin and purpose of the tumuli remains enigmatic. The mystery compounded by studies revealing dating thousands of years earlier than settlement models currently allows. The paper outlines various investigations over the last century before arguing that excavation data from 2 seminal studies, Chevalier 1963 and Lagarde 2017, demonstrate that non-anthropic solutions, I don't know what that means, or explanations, non-anthropic explanations, I guess that means non-human. Notably, the long-standing avian theory failed to address the substantial data indicating a human presence on the island predating the early modern era. A new hypothesis for the original purpose of the tumuli is presented, one based on the accumulated data. Yeah, now think about it, right? The people who established the idea that civilization, or the earliest civilization, started in Sumeria, like over what, 5 or 7,000 years ago, 5 to 7,000 years ago, they had no idea of the things that have been discovered since then. So yeah, we definitely have to rewrite our history books and account for all of the new findings that have been discovered since, let's say over the last 50 years. But yeah, there's no doubt that living alongside primitive humans were advanced civilizations where, I think a lot of the Atlantis myth, or again, they're not myths, the Atlantis stories actually come from. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. Yeah, if you like things like this, please also subscribe. That'll really help me out. Until next time, take care.